Okay, so everyone already knows the stock market is like a drug addict. It doesn't care about actual valuations or actually price going up. It just cares about the Fed. Whatever the Fed does, they hang on every word, every last syllable. We just had Jay Powell give a speech. He actually didn't do anything. He just said what he expects, and that crashed the market for the last week. We are now, the stock market is like a drug addict, looking for its next hit, and it's been cut off by the Fed, constantly giving it quantitative easing. But the worst of everything they've ever done is the negative real interest rates. And by negative real interest rates, we mean when interest rates are below the inflation rate. Now, they've basically been doing this since 1971 with a little blip when Volcker was in power. But other than that, interest rates has always been below inflation. So if inflation was 2%, interest rates for the last 15 years has been 0. They've been stealing 2%. Now, what does that cause? People don't get the impact. And where we are, our situation now, is directly because of this. So let's go with a normal scenario of a normal country. Okay? So when you have interest rates above inflation, which you have to have if you're normal, free democracy, capitalistic, all the stupid words they like bantering around that are meaningless because we are not in a capitalistic world at all. It's not capitalism in any capacity, because the basis of capitalism is to make money. Okay, so you explain to me how any bank is going to get money with, at the moment, inflation is 10% in the UK. So I lend out $100, I'm going to get $90 next year. But my interest rate in the UK is 2%. So I'm going to get $92 back. Why would anyone lend it out? Why would anyone lend out any money? Obviously, in a capitalistic society, it would have to be above inflation. You would have to make your money back. I lend out $100, I get $102 next year. Okay, that sounds fair, right? That's okay. That's not what happens here. You're getting less money, so therefore, obviously, we're not in capitalism. Obviously, it's totally rigged. Obviously, it's a farce. So, what should happen is this: 10% inflation rate at the moment. Let's go with 12% interest rates. Now that means people are going to be very edgy. I'm not lending out money unless there's a 12% return out there. I can tell you now, there aren't many things that give you a 12% return. Even property speculation and the rigged markets, right? Very difficult. And so therefore, lending would be very limited to only the best, the top quality projects. Which ones would those be? It would be infrastructure projects such as, at the moment, we're in desperate need for nuclear power, for any form of power stations, not renewables, they make no money, remember, they're only government subsidized. That's the only reason why they're built. It's because taxpayers pay for them. Take out taxpayers, no one would build a single wind farm, not a single propeller, not one fan. None would be built because they're uneconomical, they don't make any money. So it's only with the subsidies they make money. Right? So please don't start with that. So a nuclear power station, guaranteed to make money, cheap, but cost billions to make. Okay, they would do it. And we have currently in Britain no gas capacity storage tanks that shut the last one, 2017. Let's build one of those. Coal power stations used to be 40% of UK's power just in 2012, 40%. Now it's at 2%. They've shut them all down for this green woke craziness. Open one up now, you'd make a lot of money because there's, as the head of Shell said, he sees a lot of gas shortages for years to come. Not just this winter, for years, right? So let's open all these plants. Let's put the investment. That's a great idea. Currently, people go, no, why should I? What do you mean, why should you? This is the only thing that's going to get you 12%. The only thing that'll get me the 12%? No, because nowadays we have negative yields. All I need to make is, currently interest rate is 3%, I need to make 3%. Hey, let's put the money in a stock, which they use buyback of shares, another rigged scheme. stocks would never have gone anywhere near as high. The majority stock market price rises in the last 20 years is due to share buybacks. Okay, you do know that. It's companies buying their own shares, which was illegal up till the 1930s. So, from the 1930s, sorry, to the 1980s. So, share buybacks is what's called. So let's go property. Let's put it in this speculation. That's where we'll put our money, and hence we are now facing zero investment. I see the West. I see the lack of investment in anything, in roads, in rail, in infrastructure. You go to China, look what they've built in just 20 years. You beat the 10 of the world's biggest bridges are in China. 10 of the top 10 world's biggest bridges. 9 of the world's biggest skyscrapers, or something like that, 7 of the world's biggest skyscrapers are in China. Okay, they've invested that money into building infrastructure, totally full of debt, totally, could go bankrupt. But in the end, doesn't matter what happens, the infrastructure is there. That's the big difference. Well, we've wasted our money on speculative assets, which go like this, and then go like this, but there's nothing there. It's the same asset before, it's the same asset now. Nothing's changed. That's the point. Nothing has changed in what we've done. Let's say you've got one asset, right? One JBL speaker. The whole West has gone mad, invested it, disinvested it. There's still one JBL. No one's created anything new. It's just the same JBL speaker. The Chinese invested in a plant for JBL speakers and now churn out tons of JBL speakers. There's the big difference. And that's the problem with negative real interest rates. It skews your investment decisions. And that's what's happened in the West. We've been skewed into speculation, while the East, with positive, they have to be positive, right? Real interest rates have to make sure that whatever they do, it's got a valid return. China, they're suffering now, and they're going into negative real interest rates now at the moment because they went too far. But the West has been going too far for 50 years. That's the difference. So we have no investment, crippling infrastructure, no way to get out of this quagmire because we have no infrastructure to get us out. There is no productivity coming through. There is nothing to help us. That's the problem. So I say let's get that interest rate all the way back up to positive, which now would be above 10%, which would bankrupt all those people that took out those speculative loans, all the people that took out debt. Oh, then you're going to realize debt isn't such a good thing. They'll all go bankrupt. And then we'll get real money, and the people at the bottom have the chance with their little cash, because the billionaire is bankrupt. He's all dead. He's bankrupt. You with your little 2 pennies under the couch, a few thousand dollars, you can scrape. Everything's gone bankrupt. You can buy a little property. You can buy that. That's how the regeneration starts. That's capitalism. Currently, we don't have that, I'm afraid.